All right, just about halftime here on these noon games. I've been watching Indiana and Michigan. This has been a pretty good game. Michigan up 14-7 with 15 seconds to go. It looks like they're going to try to score here again at the end of the first half. We'll see. Second and goal. 12 seconds to go. Georgia and Vanderbilt. Georgia just scored a touchdown. They're going to be up 24-7 coming up at halftime. I'll talk about that in a second. And Florida State handling Syracuse 17-3. 27 seconds to go. Florida State's got the ball on their own 20. Probably just going to try to run the clock out here and get to halftime. Several other noon games going on too. I've primarily been watching the Georgia game and the Michigan game. This Florida, the third TV, I've been kind of switching back and forth. But the big news coming out of these early games so far is the Brock Bowers injury. And you hate to speculate, but it didn't look good, honestly. It was his knee. He was punching the ground afterwards. They took him to the injury tent. Then they took him to the locker room. Then they took him out of the locker room and walked him somewhere else. I don't know if... Wouldn't think they would be taking him to the hospital, but I don't know where they took him after they took him to the locker room. But, and Vanderbilt's got some weird stuff going on with their stadium. They don't really have a locker room and all that construction going on, so I don't really know. But just fingers crossed with Brock Bowers. It looked like a knee, and I don't know. Maybe he'll catch a break and it'll just be a sprain. Georgia is off next week. But I don't know. Well, we never like to see any injuries in college football, so we'll see on that. But on the Georgia game, another sloppy start for Georgia, which didn't make me happy. Vanderbilt got the ball first, went right down the field and scored. They're up 7-0. Now they haven't scored again since then. But Georgia's got 3 fumbles in the first half. Now they only lost one of the fumbles, the first one in their own territory. Vandy got the ball, didn't do much. Attempted a field goal and missed it, so that kept the score at 7-0. And then it's been all Georgia since then, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Kendall Milton, wow. Shout out Kendall Milton. I've been hard on him. He stays hurt a lot, and honestly, a lot of the times when he does play, he doesn't look great. He's looked good today. 5 carries, 53 yards for Kendall Milton. Dejon Edwards is, just continues to be Dejon Edwards, just a reliable guy. Never going to win the award for best running back anywhere or whatever, but he does what he does, and he does it really well. Georgia has ran the ball pretty good. And Carson Beck on pace for another 400-yard game, almost 200 yards in the first half for Carson Beck. What's he up to? 180 yards at halftime. 17 of 20, 181 yards with a touchdown. Tyke Smith, I didn't realize that was his 4th interception of the year. He had an interception in the first half there, and a great series, a one-man show. Vanderbilt had the ball with under a minute to go. They throw a little hitch pass on first down. Tyke Smith blows it up for like a 1-yard loss. Second down, they throw a little flare pass out in the flat. Tyke Smith makes the tackle for like a 1-yard gain. 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, whatever it was, Tyke Smith interception. And the announcer goes, that's his 4th interception. I didn't realize they had 4 interceptions already. 4 interceptions through 7 games is really, really good. So I was surprised. So other than the first drive, the defense has played well. The offense has played well. They got to hold on to the ball. This has been an issue with Georgia all season long. Turnovers. Again, only 1 turnover for Georgia in the first half, but 3 fumbles. They recovered 2 of them. They lost 1 fumble. Got to do a better job with ball security, but the story for Georgia is Brock Bowers. Georgia's going to win this game by however much they want to. It's Vanderbilt. Shout out to Vanderbilt for scoring a touchdown on Georgia, by the way. The first touchdown they've scored on Georgia since 2019. So shout out to them. Alabama is playing Arkansas. We'll just update the other games real quick. And like I said, I watched most of the first quarter of the Alabama-Arkansas game. Then I switched it over to the Florida State game. Been watching some of that one. Michigan did score, so they're up 21-7 on Indiana with 5 seconds to go until halftime. 6 seconds to go until halftime in the Florida State-Syracuse game. Florida State 17, Syracuse 3. Ohio State up 20-0 over Purdue, but good luck trying to find that one on TV. It's not on TV. Shout out to the Big Ten. They got that one streaming only on the Peacock Network. Well, whoopity-doo. What's worse? Big Ten games on streaming only on Peacock Network, or ACC games that come on in weird times like 2:45 on the CW. What's weirder? Let me know down below. So I haven't been able to watch any of the Ohio State game. I don't have streaming Peacock, and I'm not getting it to watch one Big Ten game a week. But they're up 20-0. Looks like Kyle McCord's got a couple of touchdown passes. Of course, the story from that game, Emeka Egbuka out in that game. It didn't get hurt during the game. It was announced prior to the game that he wouldn't be playing due to an injury. Alabama up 21-6 over Arkansas. Jalen Milroe's got 2 touchdown passes. I only saw one of them, and it was an 80-yard just dart touchdown pass. Alabama had the ball on their own 20. He didn't throw the ball 80 yards. He threw it about 60 yards, though, to a wide-open receiver, and he basically walked into the end zone. So Alabama, as expected, handling Arkansas. Arkansas, not a great team this year. I feel bad for my buddy Sam Pittman. Things aren't working out for him there. A surprise to me, Michigan State's up on Rutgers 14-6. I thought, I wasn't sure Michigan State would win another game. But right now they're up on Rutgers 14-6 at halftime. Iowa State 17-7 over Cincinnati. James Madison up 20-6 over Georgia Southern. Man, shout out Georgia Southern, but James Madison, the real deal. They're a good team. There you go. That's your halftime update for these games. 21-7, Michigan up over Indiana. They're running to the locker room now. Halftime there. I don't know. We'll see about the Brock Bowers injury. I don't know. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. You hate to see that. Oscar Delp's going to have to step up. He had a big catch on Georgia's last scoring drive there after Brock Bowers had gone down. Ladd McConkey playing a lot today too, which is good to see. They've been kind of slowly working him back in over the last couple of weeks. He's got some good catches. Dominic Lovett with a couple of good catches. Not a lot of rah-rah today. He had a huge game last week. I think he's only got 1 catch or so in the first half. But anyway, Georgia up 24-7 over Vandy at halftime. I'll be on Patreon at 3:30 for the afternoon games. Oregon versus Washington is going to be amazing. I can't wait for that one. All these noon games really feel like kind of a bland appetizer. I seriously doubt any of these games are going to be worth watching in the second half in terms of competitiveness. It's a lot of big point spreads and big blowouts here in these noon games, but we got some great games at 3:30. Oregon and Washington, Florida at South Carolina, Tennessee at Texas A&M at Tennessee. Lots of good games on at 3:30. So if you're signed up on the Patreon page, make sure you head over there around 3:15. You'll see the link posted on my Patreon page. Just click the link. It'll take you to the live stream for all the 3:30 games. We'll hang out and watch all those games. And then I'll be on tonight right here on YouTube for all the primetime games. Probably start that stream sometime between 7 and 7:30, depending on when the 3:30 games wrap up. But of course, tonight we got Notre Dame and Southern Cal, Miami and North Carolina, a handful of other good games too. There's a link in the description of this video to the Patreon page. If you want to check it out, just click the link. It'll take you to the Patreon page. It's kind of like a Facebook page. You'll see posts on there. At 3:15, I'll make a post on there for the live stream for the 3:30 games. Anyway, Dogs up big, Michigan up big, Florida State up big, Ohio State up big. Anybody that was hoping for one of these noon upsets for one of these highly ranked teams doesn't look like it's going to happen. Doesn't look like it's going to happen today, and we'll just wait for some Brock Bowers updates on as far as that goes. Have a good morning.